Week 7, I got my boom plays, sleepers, and streamers coming at you right now. Now, for my first boom play for week 7, it has to go to Tony Pollard. This is going to be the really big game that we've been waiting for. He's just been right there under 20 fantasy points in the game, and right there just under 100 rushing yards. So therefore, I think this will be the week where he could show up and show out against this run defense against the Buffalo Bills, who are at the bottom of the table, and they're allowing the second most rushes of 10 plus yards right now. So we're looking at Tony Pollard to have this big boom play game, so you should not question about his status in your starting lineups. Now to get into my week 7 sleepers, and first up, I want to hit you with another tight end this week, and it's Cade Otton against the Baltimore Ravens, where I think this is such a juicy matchup for him. So if you're out on the waiver wire, if you have him stashed on your bench, you should be sliding him up to the starting lineups against this Ravens defense, who've been allowing a ton of production to tight ends as of late. They're allowing the most receptions and the most yards to tight ends so far this season. They have not allowed a tight end to find the end zone, but Cade Otton could find the end zone this week. He found it last week against the Saints. Not great production overall, 6 targets, only 2 catches and 15 yards, but I really feel as though against this Ravens defense, he could really show up and show out and put up some big points. And it's also worth mentioning that Mike Evans is banged up right now, so I'm not quite sure of his status come this weekend, but I do think Cade Otton has been earning his keep, especially in the targets per route rate in the last couple of weeks, where Baker Mayfield looks at him as a valuable option. Now to get into my next sleeper, it's Ladd McConkey going up against this Cardinals defense, who have allowed a ton of production to the slot wide receivers this season as well. And I think they're going to have their hands full trying to stop that run, because the Cardinals are one of the worst run defenses in the NFL right now. And I definitely think they're going to have their hands full with J.K. Dobbins. And I do understand that the Chargers are a low pass volume offense, but when they are throwing the ball, when Justin Herbert is trying to get these drives moving downfield, they look to Ladd McConkey the most. He's the only player on this team that has a 20+% target share. So when they are throwing the ball, they're going to be looking at Ladd McConkey's way, and they'd be putting him in motion. He's always moved around in this offense. He's a guy that I can really see blowing up this week going up against the Cardinals. Now to get into my last sleeper for week 7, it is Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas, I like to call him. He is so explosive and a reliable target, great catch rate, and I love that Drake May in his first start as a rookie was able to put up 20 fantasy points and able to put up more yards than Jacoby Brissett has ever put up in this season. So I look at Drake May being a guy that can get him going. Demario Douglas last week led the team in targets, catches, and in receiving yards. He had 92 yards, people. That's the most yards he's had since last year, week 10. So right now, I'm looking at this offense looking like a completely different offense, a whole new identity, where Demario Douglas had a 29% target share. They're going to be looking his way a lot because he is such a great separator and a reliable target that Drake May can rely on this week. Now to get into my streaming option for week 7, it's a DST, the Colts. Obviously, this Miami defense is low-hanging fruit. There's not much offense there. They haven't scored more than 15 points since week 1 when Tua was up and playing for them. And I honestly think this Colts defense should find a way to be able to get after that quarterback, get some sacks, and possibly some takeaways. They've been getting a lot of pressure to the quarterback, making quarterbacks uncomfortable in that pocket as of late. So I honestly think this is an easy layup for the Colts, who are still highly available to you on the waiver wire right now. They're owned in less than 40% of leagues right now, in majority of leagues, where you could just plug and play them and put them in. If you're worried about your Packers starting lineup, if you're worried about your 49ers in your starting lineup, or even the Chargers, because Marvin Harrison is going to be practicing this week. He is a guy that is going to be a huge factor for that Cardinals offense on Monday Night Football. So if you're worried about your Chargers defense, which honestly I shouldn't be, but I honestly think if you want to look for high swinging points, some high ceiling, the Colts are obviously there available for you, where I honestly think this will be an easy layup for you to stream this week. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and you guys can leave a comment below of your start and sit questions, and I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. You guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.